Well, so here's the thing, I guess. KFC in America sucks. For some reason, they mess it up. The quality of the chicken is really bad. They just hire really the sort of sketchiest people you could imagine. But what I'm used to, KFC in China, is actually a pretty good... it's a pretty good piece of chicken, KFC in China. It's just like a small Chinese chicken, lots of batter on there, pretty flavorful. I don't know. Seems like there was originally a recipe, and in China they follow that recipe, whereas in America they kind of lost control of it all. And ironically, I guess, Popeyes in America tastes just like KFC in China. So, because I had KFC in China maybe 300 times, when I heard about this Popeyes back in Hangzhou. KFC is not the biggest fast food chain in America, but in China it is by far the biggest one. It's interesting. I have this theory that they are the most successful fast food chain in China because they have really localized hardcore. Like the KFC menu in China is like the menu changes a lot, and it has a lot of things on it, and it's things like sometimes they're serving like a plate with a scoop of rice and a couple of pieces of deep fried shrimp, and then that's all slathered in like a pink sauce. Just like, what is that even? The sauce is called bacon sauce. I remember this one time I just saw a plate of food that was kind of similar, but the sauce was a different color. And what it said on the menu, it was called Western food. I really appreciate how humbling it is to have not even your entire civilization, even bigger, like all white civilizations boiled down into one thing, and that we have one food item, and it's a plate of food. And also, that plate of food has rice on it. So it's not because that's how we treat exotic foreign things, Like, you end up with Panda Express, and you end up with a plate of food, and we call it Chinese food, and most of the stuff on the thing that we call Chinese food is not even Chinese, and it's also it's like a mix of simplification and corruption. But we all do that to each other, So I'm not saying that we're doing anything wrong when we make a nice plate of food for ourselves and call it Panda Express and call it Chinese food. It's fine, because in China, you can get a plate of food and it can say Western food and it can have rice on it, I mean, in China, KFC will have they'll have a big soup of like a spicy soup with skewers in it. Like just shit that you do not think of as KFC food. Lots of sandwiches, lots of different seafood, lots of different sauces, gravy, And then, the thing that's been going on in the news recently is that KFC has decided to introduce this new dish called 螺蛳粉, which is, it's a soup noodle where the broth is made with snail slime. And it's one of these things that I never tried because I think my relationship with weird food in China is that when I first got there, I was feeling adventurous. And I remember my absolute first night in China. I met this guy's brother. My friend Steve in Sweden told me to meet his brother in China, so I meet his brother Alex, and the first night he brings me to Hot Pot, and we have dog. Like, there was a hot pot, there was an entire dog carcass in the hot pot. It's like an upside down little dog, and I see the rib cage of the dog upside down with the ribs sticking up, and I tried it, and it wasn't very good, and I never had dog again, but I had dog there. And then I tried a lot of weird shit. One time in Korea, it's like a little barbecue, like a charcoal barbecue in the middle of the table, and they bring out all these different types of meat, and then they bring out the flagship thing of this restaurant, and it's the butthole of a cow. And it's just like a little tube, very chewy, and when you bite down on it, all this fat just squirts out in your mouth. And then you're chewing on this really, really strong, rubbery tube for a long time. Gross. Totally not good. I had a lot of weird food, but then something like 5 years in, I had very few of those weird things had been good, and I just was done with it. I was done with weird food. So for like the next 5 years in China, I just never tried weird food. So there are many things I just ended up never trying. Like, I don't think I've ever had chicken feet.